This is No Face Bigfoot, and welcome to my pickups video for Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, as I record this on a gorgeous Sunday here in the northern neck where the temperatures are like in the upper 70s to low 80s, not in the 95 to 100 range, and a heat index above 100 degrees. It's almost being a little bit up north in the summertime. That's how gorgeous it is, and beautiful and comfortable. And as y'all can see here, this big beautiful backdrop that everyone always likes to talk about, just how nice it looks and everything, how lucky I am to live on the water for such a cheap place. But y'all not here for that, right? Y'all here for my pickups. And what I have here today, I have a miniature console, and one that's been hotly, people have been buying. A game and 3 magazines. We're going to start out with the console first, and we're also going to have an unboxing video for this. So we're going to start out with this first, and this is from Songbird Productions. So this is not from like AT Games or anything like that, or At Games. And this is what I've been wanting for years. This was a console that back in the 90s was in the upper hundreds of dollars. So you was looking at paying 4 to 5 times the price of a SNES. And you was getting this to get arcade quality games at home. As y'all can see here, this is one thing I don't like about unboxing videos. Oh man, this thing is so cheap. There we go. This may be one of the worst unboxing things I've ever done. I'm wasting time. But you know what? All it does is just makes it more dramatic, right? Here we go. Dun dun dun. Neo Geo Pocket. The Super Pocket. Not to be confused with the Neo Geo Pocket Color console from years ago. And this is what it looks like. So I've been waiting for a long time for this. It has 14 games on it, which I'll talk about later. Alpha Mission, of course, Mega Metal Slug, one of the greatest game franchises of all time. Samurai Showdown, tells you right there. And also one of the games I used to like, what was it? SNK versus Capcom, or Capcom versus SNK Match of the Millennium. Yes, that is awesome right there. Alright, what do we have from Amazon Prime? Well, here I bought the second game, and I had the digital copy, put about 80 hours into it, and what's next? Killing Floor 3. That's right, meat is murder, and boy is it glorious. Now, there are a few issues with this game right now, such as not having many levels in it, and almost being like a beta almost, instead of, as far as the gameplay is fine, but it just doesn't have much content right now. Alright, what's up next? My Commodore 64 magazine I subscribe to, Zap64, and they're doing Space Invaders in there. They also give you the calendar. Boom, next 12 months. There's also an interview with Nick Jones, and there's all kinds of stuff in here. And for about 60 some pages, there's some really good information in here. And the paper is just kind of sexy. It feels so sexy. And then they're continuing their top 64 Commodore 64 games. Now don't forget to check out my video where I unboxed the 64 Mini. Alright, what we have next, Debug Magazine, that focuses on the independent scene, and on the cover, the follow-up to Undertale, Deltarune, which is, of course, Undertale, Anagrammed or Unscrambled. The only thing I really don't like about this magazine is they don't really give you too much information on the games, and that the reviews are overinflated on the scores. I mean, the lowest score that I've ever seen is 3 stars. And some of those games they get 3 stars for suck. But for the overall, almost I would say 80% of the games in here are very good. And I do like to play independent games. It gives nice interviews and everything. Not only that, but news, all kinds of stuff. So, and this is what I mean here. Well, I'll get to that in just a minute. There's Celeste, one of the most awesome platforming games ever. Oh my God, it is the Dead Souls of platforming games. And then they give you reviews. Like, now if you see here, discreet orange, believe me, if it's 3 stars here, the game stinks probably, or just not that good. I probably shouldn't say sucks. A lot of times games are playable, they're just not that good. Sometimes they can be boring. And then of course in the end they always have these really cool articles. If you want to make your own games, they actually have a lot of information on that in publishing, self-publishing, and even legal stuff. So lots of advice, lots of fun stuff in here. All right, and finally, this is probably my current favorite magazine. And it's not even back, even though it has some current stuff in there, it's a retro magazine. Terminator 2D, No Fate. That is a new game coming out here pretty soon. So that's actually a retro game coming out for all the consoles. And in here, of course, in the main issue, Terminator, No Fate, cover story on it. And the articles in here are always very detailed, and then they always have things where they reminisce about their certain games that they played in their childhood or adulthood, or even as parents. Oh, there we go, making a pinball simulator. That was a big thing back in the day. It's one of the few games that I remember when a computer I actually remember playing. Here we go, Ghostbusters. So that's where they talk about just different games and stuff. And some interesting stuff, and very interesting, not opinions, but just things that have happened in people's lives. And it gives you a look behind the scenes of what the writers have gone through in their lifetime. So they look at different companies. And then in the back, which is always pretty cool, well, actually before we even get to the back, Suikoden, they're supposed to have a new Suikoden game coming out. What is it? You get 108 different characters you can get in this game. So that's a PlayStation original. That game is crazy. They had Katamari in here, and even hardware. I think this is the WonderSwan, yeah. Which you could go horizontal or vertical. And in Japan, vertical is called tape mode. I never knew that until recently. And then Power Stone. Now this is the original one, but if you like Super Smash Brothers, Power Stone 2 is a fighting game, except it's a lot like, it's a brawler just like Super Smash Brothers, but the only difference is you have to knock out the other person. So that's really the major difference. All right. And then they do Mario Kart World, because that's a classic game. Alright. And then finally here, some other stuff. And they talk about Ultima, one of the original RPGs. And then they always have stuff about somebody's game room here. And in this case, a Japanese collection. Alright. So I'm here doing almost a review, and but that's pretty cool. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the smash the like, the subscribe, the share, and notification buttons. The 4 horsemen of YouTube. I'm No Face Bigfoot, and I'm out. Peace.